Theirs is a simple motto, more than a club. And since 2005, Barcelona have indeed proved to be the incarnation of a philosophy. A world-class academy produced world-class players and a world-beating team. Consistent application of cherished principles captured a dazzling array of trophies, culminating in 3 Champions League titles in 5 years. In 1992, Barcelona finally emerged from the shadow of their arch-rivals Real Madrid, who had won the European Cup 6 times in its early years. Leading Barcelona to that success was Dutchman Johan Cruyff.
I'm different than a lot of other people. Let the people come to the stadium and let them enjoy themselves. I mean, when I go to the stadium, what do I want to see? I like to see a goal, I like to see a nice action. I like to see somebody who treats the ball very well, who does something nice, and that's what we did. Not only win it, but the way you won it. And it was not one day you played good, no. A lot of years together, study working.
Embracing this philosophy, Cruyff's Barcelona were dubbed the Dream Team. They won 4 successive Spanish League titles from 1991. And foreign talents such as Risto Stoichkov, Koeman and Michael Laudrup helped to ensure that when Cruyff stepped down in 1996, his legacy would be lasting.
It's a question of to get the philosophy going. And it was a pity that I couldn't finish that off, because I think with a great team, a very big team, always counts on the people from their own club. I think almost impossible for a long time, let's say 2, 3, 4 years in a row, to buy people.
The Dutchman was missed. By 2003, the club had added just a European Cup Winners' Cup in 1997 and successive League and Copa del Rey titles. But one man's childhood worship of Cruyff would rekindle ambitions of greatness.
When Johan came to play for Barca in 1973, we were 10. We used to get our hair cut like his. We copied his running style. He really created a social revolution at Barca at the time.
30 years later, that youngster was elected club president, and his strategy for success was clear.
We opted for a footballing revolution. We decided to return to the footballing philosophy that we thought was the best for Barca. And that philosophy is based on Johan Cruyff.
The way you win it, the way you play, and the way the people talk about you. They don't talk about you, no, you won the game. No, we enjoy watching. And once again, enjoy watching the games from Barcelona is much more important than only winning.
A lot of Barcelona fans used to come to our headquarters, where our electoral campaign was based, and asked us to change things. And the truth is that we created a mini revolution at Barcelona.
People suddenly regarded Laporta as what we call here foc nu, a breath of fresh air, because he would eradicate everything and offer a fresh start.
Laporta began by replacing manager Radomir Antic with Dutchman Frank Rijkaard.
It was a controversial decision, though. We were convinced he was the ideal manager. But, yet again, public opinion was trying its best to ensure that our project to revolutionize the club didn't work.
Ronaldinho, who arrived from Paris Saint-Germain for 30 million euros, would play a key role in the Laporta revolution.
What I did say was that we would lead Barca to the forefront of the footballing world. And for that to occur with our project, we had to sign one of these 3 players: David Beckham, Thierry Henry, or Ronaldinho. It turned out to be Ronaldinho.
The Brazilian immediately endeared himself to the Camp Nou faithful and became the figurehead of Laporta's new Barça.
Ronaldinho brought back the enthusiasm that Barca needed. We needed a catalyst like him to make our fans excited again. He got across exactly what we wanted to portray from our young boardroom, which was happiness, excitement, enthusiasm, talent, a new way of playing and entertainment.
With Ronaldinho inspirational, Barca finally ended a 6-year trophy drought, winning the Spanish League title in 2005.
It was the way that we played from the second half of our first season. Back then was when the team adopted the footballing ideals that we were trying to implement. That philosophy, that football philosophy based on Cruyff's mentality and his way of understanding the game. Playing 2 touches and then attacking. That league title served to confirm that we were doing things right. And then we started to imagine that the future would be memorable, that the future could be very good indeed.
A priority for the future was La Masia, the club's youth academy. Laporta's policy was the antithesis of Real Madrid's commitment to their Galacticos. And for Barcelona, it was a policy that would reap handsome rewards.
We build La Masia as the factory of dreams for those kids who fantasize about playing for the first team. Investing in the academy creates a footballing identity, and you therefore create a special attachment and commitment from the players to the club. That's because they've been with us since childhood, and ever since they were small they've been playing the same style of football and identify themselves with the philosophy and what the club is about.
They show you how to perform at school, how to adapt to a playing style that they've been using for many years, with some very precise, specific exercises. It's nice. You improve very quickly in a short time.
2 of La Masia's rising stars were Andres Iniesta and Xavi Hernandez, a midfield pair who would be crucial to the club's surge to the pinnacle of football.
I've been lucky enough to be brought up on the Barcelona ethos, which has taught me the value of being part of a team. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Those qualities are essential for life in general.
But it was Lionel Messi, a young Argentinian nurtured by the club since arriving as a 13-year-old in 2000, who would surpass everyone else.
Imagine how much we would have to pay to sign Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, Puyol, Piqué, Busquets or Pedro.
With the yield from the La Masia production line peaking, the following season Barca retained their league title, finishing 12 points clear of second-placed Real Madrid.
The team had everything. It had a very strong attacking mentality and was highly effective up front. It was an unstoppable team. We were coming off the back of a disappointing period. So we were all absolutely delighted. And that took us to Paris.
In Paris, Barca met English club Arsenal in the final of the Champions League. Just 8 on Samuel Eto'o.
He committed a foul and got sent off, so Barca played the whole game. Nevertheless, Arsenal went in front. It was the typical situation whereby the team conceding the goal becomes cautious, and the team that's just equalised goes on the attack. That Barca won by sheer desire, not by playing great football. Ronaldinho didn't play well. Generally, it wasn't a good game, but it was an exciting one.
This league title told us how well things were going. Then I think the Champions League trophy was confirmation of the whole project. We went from winning nothing to winning that, after having made some difficult decisions, all in just 3 years. Winning the Champions League in our 3rd season was very important.
But the following 2 seasons saw Real Madrid win consecutive league titles as Barcelona failed to lift a trophy. The pressure began to mount on manager Frank Rijkaard.
Frank Rijkaard was very relaxed. The only criticism I would have probably that he was a little bit too relaxed.
Rijkaard said, "The only one left with any desire is Puyol, the captain. Puyol tried everything to keep the dressing room in order. It was a shambles, a disaster." Ronaldinho went crazy, going out partying, dancing. Well, it all ended up with him not even bothering to train. They would say he's in the gym, when he was actually sleeping in the gym.
I had to tell Ronnie, because he deserved to be told by the president of the club, and that was me, that his time at Barca was up. I went to Ronaldinho's house and told him. I then went straight to Messi's house, because they were neighbours, and I asked him to take on the role of the team's talisman. I told him we all trusted him.
And Laporta made one more big decision. He sacked Frank Rijkaard.
I had to tell him that if we didn't win anything that season, I would have to sack him and replace him with Pep Guardiola. That was a decision I made knowing all the risks involved.
Josep Guardiola was a midfielder in the Barcelona team that won the European Cup in 1992 under Cruyff, and he spent 11 seasons in the first team.
Pep Guardiola has been part of Barca since he was very small. The decision was based on the fact that Pep loves Barca. He was familiar with the club's football philosophy based on Cruyff's formula. And then also the fact that he is someone who had progressed through every single age group at La Masia.
He had already been in charge of the B team, guiding them to promotion to the third division. Guardiola is a perfectionist and demanding.
His demands were met in style. Guardiola developed a passing game, beautifully exemplified in this historic 6-2 victory away to Real Madrid. It helped Barca regain the league title from their main rivals, scoring 105 goals in the process.
The squad didn't change that much when Guardiola arrived. It was more he brought a few players through from the B team who sort of knew his philosophy and style. He got the players that were in the squad to believe that his way was the way to play, to be successful, to win things.
And a recent arrival was extremely impressed.
I think from the moment I first began working with Guardiola, I saw that the team had adopted a Brazilian philosophy already in the way that we trained, and that Barcelona were to be admired throughout the world. So I think many things, many objectives, all came together so that everyone now admires Barca.
In the summer of 2008, an important thing happened. Puyol, Xavi and Iniesta won the European Championship in Austria and Switzerland. Loaded onto the scene. He'd been knocking on the door, but because of circumstances, injuries, he hadn't been consistent. But then Messi took off.
We all knew that he was an amazing talent, but then you also need to work. He made his first team debut when he was only 16 years old, and I remember that when he was an under-14, I went to see him in a game in which he scored 4 goals in just 14 minutes. He played exactly how he does today.